Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit about using Pixelmator, which is a great alternative to some of the more expensive design pieces of software. So we're going to find Pixelmator, either type it into the Finder or just find it on your toolbar. So we're going to need to create a new image. You obviously can open existing images from here or open an image to work on. We're going to create a new image. So we want A4, there's lots of different sizes, but for purposes today we're going to click on A4 and we're going to have it 300 resolution because we're going to print these out. So click OK and you should get your page pop up, including lots of tools surrounding it. So here's your main toolbar where all your tools that you're going to want to use are here. We're going to talk a bit about layers later and some of the other tools that we're going to use, and most of all the colours as well here. So for today we're going to drag in and drop a picture that I found on the internet, but you can also draw your own piece of work and scan that in and use that. But today I've just found an image that I'm going to demonstrate with. So it's on my desktop. I'm going to click and drag it over to the white area. Now obviously it's too small, so this tool here, the arrow tool, is where we're going to make it bigger. So I'm going to drag it down here. If I hold the shift tool on your keyboard, hold that down and then click and pull, it's going to pull it so that your proportions stay the same. And there you go. You can press OK or hit enter. And there we go. So I'm going to drag it just down to the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the tools for adding colour to this picture. So you've got the paint bucket, which some of you might be familiar with, which you can use to fill areas. Okay, fill shapes. So I'm going to give it some blonde hair. Now you can use this one here where you can select any colour at all, or more limited colours here and there. I'm going to go with this one here and pick the yellow. So you just literally, you can just click and make sure you're on the right layer. Make sure you're on the right layer. If you see here, the background layer is the white in the background. This is our outlines. Make sure you're on your outlines. So click and fill, and just click once and it will fill that shape. You can also click and hold the mouse button down and drag it out, and it will fill a slightly larger area. So click and fill. So just clicking and then obviously clicking and dragging will fill up more of the white space. Now in her fringe area I might want to add some gradient, so darker at the top and lighter towards the tips. So we filled just her fringe area, we need the magic wand tool, which is over at the top here. So click and hold like you did with the bucket, her fringe, and let go. And you'll see some dotted lines. Now I want these areas here in her fringe as well coloured. So to add those to that selected area, hold down shift, and you'll see a little plus sign next to your magic wand. And click the areas you want to also be filled with your gradient. There we go. So I'm going to go over to my gradient tool. And at the moment we've got orange and green selected, not great, so I'm going to click those and it will pop up with some colours, a little colour gradient section. I want, say, this yellow colour, and I want her roots to be of a sort of darker brown. There we go, and you'll see it changing here. You can mess around with the different gradients. You've got linear, radial and sort of angles, but for the purpose of this we'll just leave it as is. So you're going to click and drag, so you can see it coming from light to dark towards the ends of her hair, so just there. I'm quite happy with that, so once you're happy, let go. Okay, and then to get rid of the dotted lines, the shortcut to hold down is the Command key or the Apple key and D, and it will deselect that for you. Alright, so now I'm going to add some background. You can carry on and fill in your character with different colours, but I'm going to focus on the background. Now I want to add, say I want to add a nice picture from the internet, so maybe some sky. So open up Google, I'm just going to type in sky, find some images, say this one, click and hold once again and drag it to your main area. And once again that's too small. If you see here, it's made a new layer for it, so we're just going to drag it out. There we go, and click either enter or OK. Okay, so if you can see here, we've got white around the outside of it. So we want to get rid of this. So you can use your magic wand tool, click and drag, and it will select the bits you don't want and hit the backspace or the delete button, and it will clear that for you. And once again, hold down Command D, and it will get rid of that space. Now I want sort of some green in the background here, so I'm going to click a new layer, which is this plus sign, and it will put it right at the top for the moment being, which is fine. So you can either use this tool here and fill, or this tool here. I'm going to go with rectangle. Hold it down. If you click and hold, it will bring up different shapes. I'm going to use a rectangle. So I want a rectangle here. And now at the moment it's just got an outline. So I don't want an outline, but I want it filled. So change the colour and go with like a nice green. Okay. And I don't want it right on top of this girl at the moment, I want it underneath. So if you look back in your layers, click shape and drag it down to where you want it. So it's underneath your sky. So perfect. And I think I want some text as well. So adding text, just a text button, this T here over in the toolbars. Click where you want to add it, you can move it later. And a box should pop up. In a second. There we go. And so I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to just type in some example text. It's working. Let's try that again. To delete a layer, just hold it to the negative and it will get rid of it for you. So let's try that again. Click text. Oh. Try that one more time. Click text. Click add text. So we want some text in there, so we want it on the left hand side. We want black text. And I see what's wrong. It's underneath the blue sky at the moment, so we want to drag it above that. Easy mistake to make. Now you can once again just click and drag it out, make it as big as you want it, pop it down, and then go to OK, and those bars will get rid of, disappear. So I want to make a speech bubble, so we can freehand draw it. Here's our freehand drawing pen tool. It's once again, it's got a fill and a stroke. I just want a fill, I just want a white speech bubble, so click that. Select a white, there we go. So I'm going to make a new layer. I want my speech bubble in a new layer, which is between the sky and the text, perfect. So I'm going to put the stroke on. There we go, so you can see it there. I want the fill as white, so drag it to underneath your hello. There we go. And then I don't want a stroke on it, so I remove that. And you can also add a sort of shadow as well if you want to there. And here, if you want to get into sort of messing around with a bit more details and things to do with those shapes, you can play with the settings here. Give it a bit more of a shadow, make it look 3D. So there's some of the really simple tools that you can use to create artwork in Pixelmator. Some of the basic tools such as the select tool, the magic wand tool, the paint bucket tool, the gradient fill tool, the text tool and the pen tool and the shape tool. Thank you very much.